Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eating 80/20 with Daniel Fontaine, or as he like to be called, Dan Fontaine. I'm your host, Larry Fonillier. So, we don't have anybody in the hangout tonight. We'll just go right into the kitchen with Dan. Dan, how are you doing, my brother?
I am doing excellent, Larry. Excited here tonight. I don't know. What are we on the tight shot, Larry?
Yeah, we're on the wine shot. First, folks, before we start, let me put on my Google Glass here.
You got him?
Yeah. Check him out. There's my Google Glass. Okay, Glass. What's that wine?
This is from the good folks at Sip Certified. At sipcertified.org for more information. They were kind enough to send me this Fire Peak Vineyard Chardonnay. I'm gonna slaughter names, which seems to be becoming my forte around here with not knowing how to properly pronounce things, but it looks like Baliana. And I was happy to have them reach out and kind enough to do impartial sponsorship of the program here. Right. So normally, if you guys know me, I normally have a beer, maybe a little scotch or whatever. But tonight, I'm going to enjoy some of this. I've had it chilled, and nice. We'll get the show started off right.
Yeah, and I have my little wine here also.
It partially inspired what I'm making too, because I'm more of a, excuse me here while I put this in the fridge. I'm more of a, if I drink white wines, I drink Riesling or Pinot Grigio or whatever, my wife tends to have around or whatnot. I do enjoy it. So I'm not much of a Chardonnay guy, so this will be my first foray into it. But I'd like to say cheers and thank you to the
Cheers. Let me give thanks to Chris, Fritz, and Beth. Those are the fine folks at Sip Certified, where they do sustainability wines, where sustainability in practice. And they certify all the sustainable farms in the state of California, USA, and they're doing a fantastic job. And they were kind enough, like you said, to sponsor, in part, your show. So this is good.
Thank you, Beth, for sending it out. And sorry, Fritz and
Chris. Chris is the head honcho. She's the executive.
Okay, I can get down to that.
Director. Yeah.
Small chance I might knock this whole bottle back in a half-hour show. I'm kidding.
So let me take out my Google Glass and let's get down to cooking now, Dan. Tell us what you'll be doing.
So we're doing pizza. I basically do pizza for the kids a lot. I'm gonna switch this down a little bit there.
Nice.
First pizza is just gonna be a veggie pizza. I call it like the green veggie bomb. The name of the show was White Pizza, Red Pizza. It almost could have been White Pizza, Green Pizza. But I'm just gonna start here with get my sauce on it. Basically, gonna have some baby spinach, some grape tomatoes, some sliced, very, very paper thin zucchini to double as a pepperoni.
Oh, nice.
And then some, just nice doppling of broccoli flowerets. I'm going to put that in the oven at 425. Should take about 12 to 15 minutes. I toss the dough pretty thin. I go with the rectangular rather than the circle. Kind of works a little bit better with the kids, cutting it into smaller strips. Put it in for about 8 minutes, and I'm going to just sprinkle a little baby spinach on top and let it finish up with that. So I'm just going to get my sauce going here. And there will be some cheese. I use a little parm and a little mozzarella on this, but not too much. I try not to go overboard with the cheese. And so, like any pizza, it's not rocket science. And if you guys watch me enough, most of the stuff I do is pretty elementary, my dear Watson. So get that right to the edges. One of these doughs I made in the bread maker, just a standard recipe. I added a little extra salt, pepper, and maybe a little oregano, and then the other is just one I had in the freezer, store-bought. So got that. I am going to do a modest layering of mozzarella.
Oh, nice.
You gotta have that, you know, particularly for the kids and stuff. You gotta have that kind of string cheesy kind of pizza kind of component. So not a huge, huge helping of it. Just you know, a smattering, as I like to say. And
now, for those out there who want to get their mozzarella and chop it up themselves or grate it themselves, that's fine, right? They can, yeah.
Oh, totally. This was quick and easy. I'm about convenience.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So from there, I'm gonna take my my faux pepperoni. I wanna put this out here, you know, 3 wide across the whole pie. And there's really no wrong way. I like things where, if you guys watch eating 80-20 with any regularity, I like recipes that have a very low mess up potential. And you know, you can't really, unless you leave it in too long and burn it. So now I'm gonna take. I have my beloved grape tomatoes, and I really love these this time of year. And I got my garden going. We're doing planter style, and I'm just gonna sprinkle this in between the rows of the.
Those tomatoes look real nice.
Yeah,
they're grape tomatoes, right?
Yeah. Now, last certainly not least, I have my broccoli flowerets. I try to half them so they kind of sit flat.
I have to admit, Daniel, your presentation, that pizza is looking very colorful. I like it.
Yeah. You know, like I said, as soon as I looked back and I said, you know what, I should probably call it the white and green, but white and red, you know, with the red sauce. Yeah. So now I'm going to take my pepper mill. Here it is. Just do a couple cranks of pepper across the top. And we're going to get that in. And again, I got the oven at 425. Center of the oven. I'm going to put 13 minutes on the timer. Again.
Nice. I remember. Let me ask you this question, Daniel. I remember when we first started the show, when you moved into your new place, your oven was a little squirrely.
Oven and I, we get along great.
Okay. All right.
No. Stovetop and I. Let's just say, you know,
you have issues.
I take it down and try to get in an arm bar and separate.
You guys have some issues.
Yeah, we're still not getting along. We're better than we were, but we're not as good as we could be, if you know what I mean.
So okay, the red pizza is in the oven.
It's in. Now,
right.
The second pizza. I got this. Oh gosh, I visited so much, but I visit so many sites. The inspiration from this pie is from a site. Hold on, I gotta grab the paper. I have to give it proper too.
No problem.
Called, it's tough. It's not easy. It's like a tongue twister. sweetbeetandgreenbee.net, and they got all sorts of great recipes, and they have one that's kind of the foundation for this. And I tried it, and it didn't have enough oomph for me, so I kind of kicked it up with some of the asparagus and some tofu. So this here, I got this. This is the dough that's a little bit more risen around the edge, because what's going to be the coating on this to get the white is actually a mixture of coconut milk.
Oh wow, coconut milk, nice.
Two roasted cloves of garlic, where I just roasted it for an hour at about 775, 400 till it browned up. Scooped it up, threw it in my earthquake blender, as we so eloquently called it the last show.
Right.
You're gonna kind of just now. The original recipe, she put thyme. It was just the sun dried in the thyme. With this, I kind of modify it, as I tend to do, suit what my flavored desires are. So you kind of, with this, where it is so liquidy, you kind of get it drizzling around.
Nice.
And it's pretty creamy, I have to say. And I added some salt and pepper to it. It was, you know, very obviously garlicky. Not much of a date night pizza. And well, I guess it is if you're both eating it.
Not much of a what?
Date night pizza.
Oh, date night pizza. I thought you said
like,
something.
Hey, honey.
I thought you said something else. That rhymes with date.
All right. So, you know, again, very subtle, very just kind of get that in there like that. Then I based upon, you know, the blog there that I mentioned, I took some half sun-dried tomatoes. I soaked them for about an hour to kind of get them soft again and not all leathery. And we're just gonna sprinkle these guys around, and you know, I'll go a little now. Boom, 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 and then I got on the stovetop, and it's gonna take me just a second to get my tongs here to get them done up. Throw that into the sink. Rim shot. Okay.
Rim shot.
I did make a mistake. I wanted to get this all kind of prepared ahead of time, but what I have in the pan here is just, don't need to switch the pan cam or anything like that. I have just some tofu that's been sauteed with garlic and asparagus.
You want to give us a shot? Of,
no. It stayed on a little too long, and it's not as pretty. It doesn't fit up to eating 80-20 with Dan Fontaine.
It doesn't fit to those standards. Those high standards that you have.
They're hardly high, but you know, it is what it is. And live and learn, and nothing ventured, nothing gained should be the tagline of my show. So just give me 2 seconds here while I.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to say this program is brought to you by SIP Certified, the fine folks at SIP. You can get more information by going to sipcertified.org. Check out all the wines that they feature, and all the wine growers who are sustainable wine growers in California, that is. And the fine folks are, let me put on my Google Glass once more, Chris, Fritz, and Beth. Fine folks. All right, there we go.
Woo!
All right, take a break.
So, take a break. All right. So now I'm going to just kind of start to sprinkle out some of this sauteed tofu and kind of get that. And I got the firm tofu. I suppose you could go extra firm. I've been tinkering per one of my earlier shows where I think it was Jason Joseph, and can't remember the other young lady's name, said I got to learn to kind of prepare it different and try different things with it. So I've been trying to use it with a little more regularity. Future show, I might try to do breakfast for dinner and use it as kind of like an egg substitute. Interesting.
Okay.
Hey, well, now you're in the mix. So I in prepping early and kind of some of the show prep stuff, I did get some of this asparagus a little bit more tender than I had planned, because you want to kind of just get it on the doorstep and then it's up in the oven. With that said, I'm not going to waste this stuff because it's, you know what I mean, I'll probably...
So you're putting some asparagus along with the
like I don't know,
tomatoes.
This piece was like, Dan, I tap out, no more. And I left it for too long, but I'm going to use some of that stuff anyway. You really want it to where it's just a little soft, because it will finish up in the oven, and then
correct.
And then, last but not certainly least, I got 2 minutes left on that. I have jumbo kalamata olives. We're gonna just kind of get these in there.
Nice.
Put a little libido. You know what I mean, mate?
Yep.
And so, you know, we're gonna get this in and get it right into the oven. I am gonna take 2 cranks of pepper, and
nice.
A little tag of salt on this guy, just a smidge. I'm gonna grab the old pot holder, and then this is gonna go right in. And while I'm putting this in, I'm gonna take the other guy out, and that's when the baby spinach is gonna go on. Oh, the steam blast! My eye!
Ah, my eye, my eye.
All right. You get to see though. This guy's got some color on it.
Oh yeah, that's getting some color. That's getting some color.
Oh, let me see how the edges are doing. Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
So I got to do this quick. I want to get it in before it. And I kind of break it up just as the spinach kind of will get real depleted if you kind of go the full time. You get
the full time, yeah, it'll wilt, yeah, and wither.
Crisp edges turn into like an incendiary device. So
that's like a.
Now this is where I take a little parm.
That looks really nice there, Daniel.
A little grated parm, and I make it snow. Some people like to make it rain.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, that I just upped the cheese ball factor with that one, but you guys do it. All right, so this is going right back in, and I am going to reset the timer. And now we're going to play a game of charades. Isn't that right, Larry?
That's right. Where's Jason Joseph when you need him?
Yeah, if only I had Jason Joseph here so I could talk about...
Of course, if he were here, he would be talking about Papua New Guinea and, you know, his favorite place. I think we should send him on vacation there.
No, I think he's nice and happy in New York City. So,
okay.
I will take these next 5 minutes while the first one finishes up, or 4 minutes, depending on. I'll have to check the crust in a few. If you don't mind, I'll break into the segment of the show that I call shameless plugs.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, by all means.
So I really enjoyed the thing. I enjoyed the foodie. I always call myself the foodie fanboy. So, you know, as I'm expanding Eating 8020, I got, you know, some stuff in the works. Hopefully I have a logo and some other stuff. Might be doing, you know, some shirts or whatever. Sort of
nice. Friends
and family type thing. But if you're interested in anything, if you like the way I dance, the way I talk, the way, you know, whatever it is that I do here, you can follow me elsewhere on the web. Twitter, it's Eating 8020, at Eating 8020. If while the show's going on, or even between shows, you say, "Hey, I'd like to see you make, you know, whatever." I think.
Let me see who's commenting on the stream.
Okay. You know, you can either tweet at Eating 8020 or hashtag Eating 8020, and I check that regularly. Pinterest, I've been pinning. Pinning is for men, or a real men pins.
A real man pins. A real man pins.
I caught a lot of flack for that, but. Anyway, so just Pinterest, eating8020.com, and then obviously over on the Facebook, it's /eating8020.com. Like, visit, share, keep up with the show. And on the web itself, just eating8020.com. That's where you can catch the broadcast. And I try to blog. I do, you know, hot sauce of the month, although I've skipped a month, so I guess it's hot sauce of every other month. You can watch the show. Little recipes that maybe I kind of do on the side that maybe don't make it to the show. You can see it there, and I'll be ramping that efforts up on that front as well. So,
let me ask you something, Dan. The wine that you're drinking from Sip Certified, well, it is Sip Certified, and it's a Chardonnay, like you said at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, let me see here. It's a Chardonnay. It's from Fire Peak Vineyard, Edna Valley. And if I try to pronounce the exact I'm bad with pronunciation, so I'm just going to say it is good. And I will be pouring myself more right now.
Nice.
And if you do, you know, here a little bit more.
Nice,
Go with, you know, whatever, 4 fingers. It's good. So I'm really appreciative. I never, you know, when I got the email.
Yeah. Let me put on my Google Glass and okay, Glass. Okay, Chris, Fritz, and Beth. Thank you. And this segment of the show is brought to you by Sip Certified. Sustainability in practice. How's it looking there, pal?
It's looking good, but I checked the bottom, and with the thinness of the crust, the way I took Yeah, at least I do it. Is I just make sure the bottom is firm, and then I can figure that the rest of it probably is. I got 2 minutes on the thing here, and I'm gonna let it ride out on that first pie. Get it out of the oven, let it cool a little bit. I'm gonna grab my plates.
Nice.
And in the meantime, I get incredible amounts of requests. I get people blowing up my Gmail, my everything. You could dance more.
Yeah, hey, you know, when you did that impromptu dance, I think, was it the third show?
I don't even know. I'm not gonna dance. That was.
I think people were starting to expect you to do that.
No, I mean, you know, bust out the little downhill skier. I'll break that out at weddings once in a while. This one here, back in the day, we called the Larry Bird, where our pros. But in terms of real dancing, I dance for entertainment in terms of being funny and silly.
But you know, Dan,
my brother growing up, my stepbrother growing up, he was the real dancer. I just was like, oh look, I think I'm cool. As I ever. All right, so what else? Is there any other shows coming up this week, Larry?
Oh yeah, tomorrow is Stacy Ty. Tie one on with Stacy. Tie one on. We're tying a couple on now.
Certainly.
Tie one on with Stacy. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And on Saturday, well, I think Thursday night, Serena might be doing her show.
Really?
I think. I'm not. Oh, is it next week? Anyway, check the events, folks. Saturday, 12 o'clock, Meghna Sharma from India, she's back. She's doing some great smoothies. She'll be doing another 2 smoothie recipes this Saturday. It's at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And later that night, at 7 p.m., we have Eco Rico with Giselle Achikar.
That's must-see TV right
there. That's must-see. That's must-see TV. That's must-see Google TV.
Come after me. It's not Thursday night, and what am I gonna do? I'll dance.
Yeah, and I won't have kids in the kitchen this Sunday. Here we go. Dance.
Come on.
This dancing portion is brought to you by SIP Certified.
Some jackhole name.
Oh, it's upside down. SIP Certified. Sustainability in practice.
So we're gonna take this first one out. And like the Fuji's ready or not. I think
nice.
So let me check this crust here.
The crust looks like it's still kind of not done.
Yeah, I'm throwing it back in.
Yeah. Crank up the heat a little bit.
Yeah, I'll bump it up to 450.
Yeah.
So, trying to tighten things up instead of drawing it out, and here we go. I should have whipped up a little salad, but I did salad the last show, so man.
Let's talk about the wine again.
Did somebody say wine?
Yeah, I did. SIP Certified.
I want to say this is the first Chardonnay I've had. Certainly won't be the last. I don't know.
You're normally, like you said, you're normally a Riesling guy, or Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, I'm normally like a beer and whiskey guy, but I'm drinking wine.
You're a whiskey and Scotch guy. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Those are typically my those are where I feel in my sweet spot or whatever. If I do drink wine, it's normally Pinot Grigio. I stay away from the reds, as does my wife mostly, so I tend to go with what she has. So
let me ask you a little bit about this particular recipe.
Yep.
You said you picked it up on a site.
Yep.
Are you gonna have that site in the event or in the show notes.
Oh, that was just the way of saying, please bring me a piece when you're done. Right? I don't know if she's watching, but she is. This motion is for you, baby. Anyway, yeah, I'll link to it. Yeah, certainly. It's not an event now. Honestly, I bookmark things. I revisit them. You got to understand. Let me just briefly talk about the 80-20 for those who may be watching.
Right. Yes. Good point.
Right,
Good point.
So 80-20. A year ago in July, I decided to go with. At the time, I was going like straight up plant-based, and I did that for about almost 3 months. And I kind of realized that there were certain times, certain situations where it was really tough. Like I showed up one night at my brother's house, and I had a little grocery bag, and I was like, "Oh, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna just whip together my own little meal." And it was just it's not always conducive to eat. As much as my heart was in it to give it a go and do it, because I really felt it would be right, I kind of at that point realized that maybe I should go with more kind of like a vegetarian type thing. And I also, speaking with my brother-in-law, who's the one that kind of helped coach me along to try to change my diet to feel better, because honestly at the time my body wasn't exactly jiving with everything that I was doing, and I was eating like garbage, admittedly. Healthy one day, not so healthy the next. So the important thing is 80% of the time I maintain a vegetarian diet. I do afford myself 20% time for situations, family gatherings, or if I just feel like cheating. I mean, I won't lie. We had folks over, not folks, but we had some people over this past weekend, and I enjoyed a little small piece of strip steak. It was the first that I had in some time, and I actually had a sausage patty. But if I'm good enough during the week, yes, I get the idea. If I do good during the week, I build up the time that affords me the opportunity to take advantage of the 20% time, and that way I don't beat myself up like, oh, I broke. And as much as I'd like to be strict, and maybe I'll circle back to that at some point, it's just right now I get two. Sounds all like excuses and that and the other, but 2 young kids, and they eat, and sometimes me having to cook a whole separate meal afterwards isn't always the most viable option. So 80-20, trying to do. I like to say it this way. I figure if I can be good 80% of the time, in my definition of good, air quotes, other than being bad 100% of the time, which is
right.
So, in so much, I haven't cooked a lot of this type of stuff, so I need to go online to get ideas. Like it's not like I cook meats my entire life, so if you need me to whip together like a meatloaf or pork loin or whatever, I'm in the zone. This is new for me, so I need to take cues from people who have been doing it a lot longer than I have, and that's where I get some of my ideas. And some of the stuff I make at home, I just go right from there. A lot of times, though, I make it once and I say, and I kind of modify it a little bit, and that's where a lot of the recipes that are on Eating 80-20 are kind of born from. Let me just get this hot pan out of the way, and I'm going to put this back under the cam. And this guy is done.
Nice.
And I'm going to, real quick, hit this with a little of that. Where did I put it?
You're gonna drizzle any olive oil on it?
I was gonna sprinkle a little of the parm. Just a smattering while it's still warm, and then a light drizzle. Snowy with a chance of drizzle.
I love to hit olive oil on anything.
Yeah.
Before I eat it, if I'm eating a slice of bread, I'll throw olive oil on it.
I love olive oil everywhere in every situation, unless I'm watching Robin
extra virgin
Popeye, and then I want to chop my fist off and beat myself up with it. But a reference to old bad movies.
Yeah.
So this is pretty firm here, so I'm just gonna cut this.
Nice.
And again, I do the rectangular because it's really easy when I'm doing stuff. To zip this up into smaller little kid-friendly pieces. At least for my 4-year-old. I'm off the edge of the
You're off the edge, yeah. There you go.
I'm on the edge of glory, just like Lady Gaga.
That looks real good, man.
All right, so I'm gonna scoop this all onto this cutting board if I can do this right. So I can get my, I forget what this is called. It makes me think of like fraternity houses for some reason, like the end of Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. That's the paddle.
Yeah.
Paddle of discipline.
I'm going to check on the crust of this one because I did crank the heat up, and I want to just make sure that this one's getting too.
Yeah, you don't want it to burn.
Oh, yeah. You can't see it.
Is it awesome?
It's looking pretty good.
All right.
I'm no stranger to pat myself on the back, so.
No, you ought to.
I'm gonna lower it down because I think the top is in good shape, but I want that bottom. So I'm gonna take eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a tiger by the toe if he hauls him, go. Okay, this guy. That guy's gonna get on the plate. His corner pieces. All right, so that's like that. I'm gonna move this out of the way because I gotta make room for the second pie coming in.
All right, there you go.
When I come back, I'm sweating bullets in here because I open that oven and it hits me with like a. I'm gonna have another drink of this fine wine from the good folks at Spotify.org.
Hydrate.
Fire Peak Vineyard. If you're in California, check it out. Red Dragons.
Sustainability in practice. SIP certified. SIPcertified.org.
It's basically taken like, from what the research I've done and the literature that was included with it, it's like next level organic, kind of on steroids, which is kind of an oxymoron of sorts. Coming from a moron. Hey, I'll be here all week. Tip your wait staff. All right, let's see if this is cool. Because you know what? You know, it's funny. They said the iPhone is the most used camera, and as I was downloading, I had to free up some space. I was downloading. I had like 1,500 photos.
Well, Daniel, when you get Google Glass, all you have to say is Glass, take a picture. Okay, yeah, Glass, take a picture.
I will be. I do have to say there is a good chance that in the coming months where I get my little notification, I travel to New York City and grab them, you'll get first-hand, first person, at least tutorials. I don't know that I'll be able to do the HOAs with them, but
no, but even if you can't come into the HOAs with them, you could wear them and then record. Whatever you're doing. Yeah. And then we could up that video later, We could upload it.
See, I did leave it in just not to harp on the bad things. This is a little darker than I'd prefer, but you know what? The way I judge my thin crust pizzas, if I can hold it and it doesn't do like droopy dog ear, it's probably good enough. But I probably could have taken that out a minute earlier. I'm gonna try a piece of this now while that gets its last minute. And
okay.
I mean, it's pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? I mean, if you don't love pizza, you probably got a few screws loose, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, that looks real good.
And again, not heavy with cheese. Trying to keep it kind of light and more about the
and it's very healthy.
Yeah. Well, the bread's not doing you any justice, but. All right, so moving on, I got this bad boy, and this guy says, "Ta-da! How you doing? My name's White Pizza. Nice to meet you. Got a name? Got a number? Because I'd like to meet you in a dark alley." Anyway, so gonna let that. In the interest of time, I'm gonna see. I did this one where the edges are a little bigger because I didn't know how liquidy. The first time I did it, the coconut would be.
I'm
like, it's gonna run all over the whole thing, but
it didn't.
And then my assistant went a little crazy with the flour because I wasn't home in time to get this stuff to really set up and rise because I work. And
Yeah.
that's kind of, you know, I have never mind. I was gonna make an obscure bad drug reference, but I won't. So I'm not gonna do the eeny, meeny, mo, but I'm gonna show you that bad boy up close.
That looks good.
That one's going to the sacrificial. And if you look here, I got nice, you know, puffy.
Yeah, hold it down a little bit. Hold it down a little bit. Right there. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, right there is good.
So, you know, and I'm gonna go for this piece because this piece looks like it. Oh, you know what? It needs a piece of asparagus. There we go.
There you go.
And so yeah, that's the two pizzas that don't have pepperoni, don't have bacon, don't have, you know, a bunch of meaty meat on top of meat, but they're both tasty. I'm gonna hopefully not scald the roof of my mouth and try this. You know, the tofu takes on a nice little color. You could almost trick somebody that that's chicken.
Yeah.
And,
It probably tastes like chicken too.
oh, this guy here.
Awesome.
This one here is like Joe Traditional. This one's like New Kid on the Block, being like, oh.
No.
Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm gonna let Larry take this out. Thank you to Sip Certified. You guys rock. You've opened my eyes to yet another white wine, and I'm appreciative and thankful for it.
Yeah, yes, Sip. Thank you, thank you. Larry Finale here saying good night and see you guys on the next Eating 80/20 with Dan Fontaine, which would be in about 2 weeks, Dan?
Yeah, there could be a chance I mix it up, but yeah, look
okay.
That's one more reason to follow on Facebook at eating8020.com.
Right, and check the event page. Yeah, so from Trinidad and Tobago, Larry Finale is saying